pleased to introduce to you Miss Jennifer Pickett. Jennifer, I think we have you muted, so if you can unmute yourself, that would be great. Just hover over your picture and click on that microphone.
All right. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How are you today?
I'm great. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. In the downhill part of the program at this point.
Good.
I am halfway done. So tell everybody for us where your personal business training background is on everything.
Okay. I am a dietitian by profession. I have a master's degree in human nutrition. So I've got about 16 years of experience in healthcare, both in the professional setting and in the volunteer setting. So I've always been passionate about helping others and have gained a great deal of knowledge and experience working with people who suffer from chronic disease. And that is why I get really excited and pumped up about these Plexus products, because I see the value and I see it helping people with some very difficult to manage chronic disease.
So were you sold on Plexus immediately when you heard about it, or were you skeptical? What was your feelings in the beginning?
I was extremely skeptical. And in fact, I stumbled upon Plexus on Facebook at a very, very difficult time in my life. In January of 2013, I had lost my mom to breast cancer, and she had a pre-existing liver condition. In the months leading up to that, was busy walking with her through that journey and going back and forth between Texas and Alabama. And as many people can relate to, as you're taking care of others, sometimes you neglect your own health, and that's certainly what I did. And so found myself, after losing my mom, feeling absolutely worn out and run down, obviously depressed. I had gained weight. I wasn't sleeping well, and saw a friend from church, Celeste Gwynn, post about it on Facebook. And I have to tell you, I was shocked. I was kind of surprised at her. She didn't seem to be the type of person that would promote something that was a scam. But from my experience, most of these types of things are just that, a scam. And so I was really skeptical. I was kind of surprised and shocked at her. But while I was skeptical, I was also desperate. I was desperate to feel better, and I was desperate to get my health back on track. And so I decided to try it. And what I found is that it made a difference in me. And what I mean by that is that I immediately started sleeping better without requiring sleep meds. And that was huge for me, because I'd struggled with sleep literally my whole life. I was having sustained energy throughout the day. I wasn't having those afternoon crashes in the afternoon, feeling like I needed a nap every day right when my kids were coming home from school. I did lose weight in pounds and inches. I wasn't having any more headaches. And I wasn't relying on Diet Cokes, Diet Dr. Pepper as a pick-me-up in the afternoon. So those were my short-term benefits that I saw from Plexus. Now my long-term benefits, because I've been on Plexus products for 20 months now, my long-term benefits are even better. So it's all those things I just described, but it's also a stronger immune system, which is fantastic. My kids have a stronger immune system. Thank you, ProBio 5 and X Factor. I used to suffer from chronic sinus infections and really bad seasonal allergies, and now that's not a big deal with me. I've had increased hair and nail growth, which I know that's completely vain, but from the nutritional side, apparently this dietitian had some nutritional deficiencies that are now being met, because I'm seeing nail growth for the first time in my life. I've got baby bangs, new hair growth, and so that's really nice. Another condition that I suffered from is called Raynaud's phenomenon, and that's just really poor circulation in your fingers and in your toes. And as of this winter time, that has been resolved. That's just extreme numbness, like frostbite in your fingers and toes. This would happen even when I was inside my house on very cold days, and that has not been an issue this year. And so I'm thanking God for BioCleanse. I think I can attribute some of that relief to the Plexus product BioCleanse. So I have a long list of benefits, and I started out very, very skeptical about this.
Gotta love it. Gotta love it. It turned you from a skeptic to a believer. Now, let me ask you this from your professional perspective. How are Plexus products different than some of the other stuff that's out there?
They're very, very unique and different because I truly believe that Plexus products are addressing the root of the problem. We have a tendency in healthcare now to put a Band-Aid on a problem or throw a lot of things at an issue and hope something sticks. That's not the best strategy. If you want to make a difference, you've truly got to get to the root of the problem. And that's what I really admire about the Plexus products and the science behind the products, because you're looking at the fact that it's getting to the root of the problem. So the most common root problems that we see are blood sugar instability, inflammation, and poor gut health. So I'll talk briefly about all three of those. Blood sugar instability. Most people do not realize how important it is for your blood sugar to be maintained in a fairly narrow range. When your blood sugar is maintained in a narrow range, then your body's going to work efficiently. Our blood sugar being stabilized is linked and related to a majority of our health processes. So it does not matter if you're diabetic or you're not diabetic. Your blood sugar needs to be maintained in that fairly narrow range. Now, gut health is a hot topic, and I discuss this all the time. I'm a big believer in gut health, and this is something that we discussed when I was back in college. This is not a new concept. It's just a little more mainstream now. For your gut to be healthy, you need about 80% good healthy bacteria versus 20% bad organisms. Now, in most people, this ratio is completely reversed. So we have got to correct that and bring that back into more of a balance. But you really need more good, healthy bacteria. So what makes our ProBio 5 different is that it's restoring that healthy bacteria, and that's crucial because that healthy bacteria fights for you. But also what it's doing is that it's increasing the enzymes to fight against the bad organisms like fungus and yeast. And those bad organisms like fungus and yeast have a tendency to take over our system and literally wreak havoc throughout our health. So we have got to introduce the enzymes as well to fight against those bad organisms so our body can eliminate them. So it is so important to address gut health. We know that a lot of diseases and chronic conditions can be resolved by addressing gut health first. And then the last root problem that is really fascinating is called inflammation. And it's just exactly how it sounds, where the body is literally inflamed and it's not working properly. And this just happens over years. We know that inflammation is linked to most of our major disease states now, whether it's diabetes or heart disease, even cancer. So that's another issue, another root problem that is addressed with Plexus products, primarily Plexus Slim and Fast Relief. So that's what makes Plexus unique and different. We're truly addressing those root problems.
Wow, that was a ton of information there. So I know everybody's going to want to hear that back, so don't worry, y'all. I'm going to record this, or it's being recorded, and I will play it back for y'all in the next week or so. So don't worry, but that was just the simplest breakdown I think I've ever heard of all of that, Jennifer. Now, before we get into a little bit of the business side with Sylvia, who's joined us, tell me what your rank is, Jennifer, with the company right now.
I'm a Ruby ambassador and have been growing a team. You know, I struggled with, even though I love the products, I really struggled with making that jump to promoting the products because I was so skeptical. And honestly, I struggled with the fact that this was direct sales, and just didn't understand that. It was just preconceived notions in my head. But me promoting these products, I truly believe that I'm helping others. In fact, I know I'm helping others. And that's why I've continued to do it, because my inbox is full of messages from people who have thanked me for introducing them to the Plexus products. It is making a difference. I look at my business as a ministry. I want to glorify God in all I do. And I've been so impressed with our compensation plan, because while I'm helping others get healthy, and while I'm helping team members achieve some financial freedom, and I'm working with them on their financial health, I'm also helping my family reach our financial goals. And part of our financial goal is becoming debt-free. So for me, the Plexus is truly the entire package, because it is helping me be a stay-at-home mom, but it's helping me to help others and make a difference in others. And at the end of the day, that's what I truly desire to do, is help others and just make a difference.
And you can hear that passion in your voice. It is just infectious when you talk about it. So thank you for being so honest and so true to what you feel about this. So I'm going to introduce your, partner in crime here, where we have done quite a few things. Welcome to the big show, Miss Sylvia. How are you today?
I'm great, thank you. How is everyone?
Tell me a little bit, Sylvia, or don't tell me, I know, but tell everybody that's listening a little description of your professional background.
Well, my professional background, I think, sometimes feels like a calico cat. I started in a banking career, and my degree is in finance, and I used to help consumers, and then went on to commercial people get out of debt and build businesses. And, I remember consistently sitting with people at my desk trying to figure out how they could be either an entrepreneur or open a new brick and mortar building. They wanted to open a restaurant, and really crunching numbers with them and being passionate about telling them how they can get to that point. And then I went on into another direct sales business when everybody kind of poo-pooed that and said, you don't want to do that. And became pretty successful in that, earning 4 free cars and, growing a really pretty decent career. And then I decided, you know what? Passion. I was working with a top weight loss company just to get my own weight off, and I got to a point where I got my own weight off, and they said, oh, I think you need to lead with us. And I thought, what? So I led meetings with them as a leader for 5 years and trained with some of the top dietitians, like my friend Jennifer, in the country. And literally, that's where my passion hit for nutrition and weight loss. And I went out and got some certifications in nutrition. I think there's 6 if I counted them correctly. And really fell into health and wellness, not only because of my own desire to kind of dive into how food can be your medicine of choice, but because we were getting to a certain age, and it was like, okay, now how can I find a way to make myself feel better, look better, and not look like the grandmother that I am, but just really still be young. I mean, our kids were grown. We started to have grandchildren. I'm like, wait a minute, we're too young for this. Let's go out and find a way to just be healthy. So
I love it. No vanity, right?
No, not at all.
No. Well, tell me a little bit about your successes with Plexus, weight loss or health-wise. What have your successes been personally?
Well, what's so funny is I didn't know this until just a couple of months ago, actually, but I really didn't have any weight loss with Plexus. I had weight changes, inches changes, body changes with Plexus. But I also didn't realize that when I started a regular Plexus regimen, I only started with the Slim and Accelerator at first. And when I started pulling it, because I was using another probiotic. And of course, in my mind, the other probiotic was better than Plexus because Plexus was in a direct sales company. I, like Jennifer, was like, oh, I can't tell anybody that I'm doing this, because when I decided to do this, it was really for my clients who were hitting plateaus. When I was working with clients in my coaching business, you know, they were getting pretty stagnant at certain, you know, usually between that 7 and 8 week mark. And I thought, well, this would be a great tool for the toolbox for them, but don't tell anybody. And but when I looked back, my thyroid meds, I have Hashimoto's, and I've had Hashimoto's for over 25 years. And when I started going to the doctor, my meds were being lowered. Now I probably will never be off of them because I have an underactive thyroid because of an autoimmune disease, but they kept being lowered. And I didn't realize the changes in my face. A lot of people don't realize people with a thyroid, an underactive thyroid, people with Hashimoto's, they have the puffy look to their face. Well, I looked at my face every morning, so I didn't notice the changes. And it wasn't until a couple of ambassadors were here visiting me, and I just moved to Florida, and they were visiting, and they said, I want to see one of the pictures of your mom. You talk about her so much. And I showed them the pictures, and they're like, oh my gosh, you do have a change. You have a testimony. And I thought, I do? And so I looked at the pictures of my current picture and the picture, you know, before Plexus, and sure enough, there was a huge change. And so I have shared that testimony now, and you can see a huge change. And not only how I feel, which I knew that was happening, and not only the lower, you know, medications, but when I looked at my face, I was like, okay, there's the change, big time, because there's no more of that saggy look to it or the very not glowing look to it and that puffy roundness that I used to have.
Right. I think that is probably the first place that I see changes in people is in their face. And you're right. Looking at yourself in the mirror on a daily basis, you don't see it. I remember the first time I did a selfie and somehow looked at the two pictures side by side and went, oh, look at that. That's a big difference. So, yeah, I think that's always funny when everybody goes, oh, I'm not seeing anything yet. And I was like, have you looked at yourself compared to what you were before? Because it really is one of those things, the face shows the difference. So with your success in the health side of it, your business background, when did you decide that there was a real desire to build a business with Plexus?
You know, it's really kind of a funny story. It was during the government furlough. We were called back because my husband was an essential employee. We were on vacation, had just left the day before, and he had to come back, came back. Obviously, he wasn't really happy about that, but went back to work, didn't know when he was going to get paid. I had just joined Plexus maybe 3 to 4 weeks beforehand. I was just excited, kind of excited, but yet telling people quietly still. I wasn't posting on Facebook yet. I was just kind of sending private messages to people that are going to know and love me regardless of what I do. Well, Paul would come home, and every now and then he'd say, so how was your day? And I'd say, well, I got another deposit from Plexus. He'd say, what's that for us? I don't know. And we'd go off about our business, and then a couple days later go by, or another week, I think, and he's like, so how was your day? I was like, I got another deposit. Well, how much was it this time? And it was a little bit more. And he said, have you looked at the comp plan yet? You know, you do have a finance degree. And I'm like, maybe I should do that. And so I dove into the comp plan, and at first it was kind of cumbersome, but now I absolutely love to share the comp plan, because bar none, I don't care who you are, I can put this comp plan up against any other direct sales company out there, and I feel completely passionate that ours will be just soars above any others.
Well, that was my next question to you, was how did it compare with others? So do you want to elaborate on that anymore, or is that the extent of what you think you can go into it?
No, I can elaborate on that. The difference with us is, I mean, there's a multitude of differences, but one of the reasons is, number one, we don't have to carry inventory. So we're not going to tell you, hey, by the way, we want you to be an XYZ, whether it's an ambassador, consultant, representative, whatever, and you need to come in at this $500 or $1,000 level. Secondly, those who come in from day one, I can show somebody how they can make $100 by next week, or $200 or $300. It doesn't matter. Because our company is debt-free, they pay us in a multitude of ways. And I know sometimes people are like, yeah, well, whatever. We do have a multitude of ways that we're paid in Plexus. And that, to me, is so exciting because, you know, when you've heard the 25-year-old Emerald Ambassador, you've heard these people that, you know, a mom who homeschooled 5 children and has 12. It doesn't matter. We don't have to go to parties. We don't have to go out late at night. We don't have to go to really risky areas and not know whose home we're walking into. We can do so much on Facebook, yes, but we also are a relationship business. And we can come in and I can share with somebody how they can come in and by next week they can have a car payment and more.
Wow. Love the simplicity, the way you explain that, because it is just that simple. But like you said, looking at it and reading it, for those of us who don't have a finance degree, it can be a little intimidating, but you can earn money the week that you start. Honest to goodness, you really can.
Right. And you know, and I know that you're probably going to bring this up, and I'm sorry, I'm going to open it up anyway. I was trained by Dave Ramsey, and I'm going to bring that out because there's a lot of people that follow him. I was fortunate enough to go to his facility, and he trained, and his trainers trained me on the corporate side. And before the economy kind of tanked, I was going into corporations, helping these corporations with their staff and teaching them how to live debt-free, teaching them how to avoid that phone call that was a consistent credit person bothering them because they haven't paid a few bills. And I'm telling you, back then when I was doing some of the training, it was like you could go deliver pizzas. Well, guys, it's not that safe to deliver pizzas, but if we can sit in the comfort of our own home and do a lot of our business right here on Facebook and pick up the phone, and we can make more money than that person that might be delivering pizzas for their second job or going into a retail establishment for their second job, bar none. People need to understand that in direct sales, and primarily Plexus, can make some really good money.
Absolutely. I'm going to bring Jennifer back into the conversation now that we're talking about money. And Jennifer, tell me, what was that one thing that just really, that light bulb moment that you said, okay, I'm going to go for this business side of this. I'm no longer a skeptic. What was that light bulb moment where you went, this is it?
Actually, I've had several light bulb moments. But I think the initial moments were as I started doing my research, because I was not going to put my name on something and promote something that I didn't fully believe in. I felt like over the course of my years in both my professional work and my volunteer work, I felt like people really trusted me, and I wasn't going to do anything to jeopardize that. And so I took a lot of time to research these products. And so as I took the products one by one and started researching the ingredients and the science behind them, that was my biggest aha moment, because what I quickly discovered is, okay, wow, this is so much more than weight loss. This can really offer hope to the millions of people out there who suffer from chronic disease, very difficult to manage disease states. And so as I saw that possibility, I thought, okay, this is my chance to really help others and to give them hope. In the past, sometimes when you meet with someone one-on-one and you're trying to turn their health around, I would have that feeling of, oh my goodness, I don't know if just good nutrition is going to cut it. And a lot of times it didn't. Now there's some supplements with natural ingredients that are addressing the root cause of the problem, and it's offering them hope, and it's making a difference. So I think that initial research was probably my biggest aha moment.
Okay, very good. Now you guys have both talked about helping people both physically and financially. Sylvia, what has the financial end done for your family? I know that you had some little goals that you've met. Well, we won't call them little. They're nice-sized goals. Tell us about that.
Well, I can remember you know, for the past few years, just telling my husband I'm a water person, so I'm really happy living here in the Emerald Coast. But I was like, I want a boat. I want a boat. You know, we were going on cruises all the time, but I just love being on the water. So we grew up near the water, and I was really I just wanted a boat. And I remember kind of not telling him the full story, and we went to a boat show. And so I, you know, was showing him the boat, and I said, I think we need to get a boat. He said, it's still not in the budget. I said, well, it's in mine. And he said, seriously, you're going to buy the boat? And I said, Plexus is going to buy the boat. And so we have a boat that I'm so ready to get into the water as long as this, you know, cold weather kind of dies down a little bit. And so, yeah, that was it. We have paid for cars, and, you know, we're looking at really setting ourselves up for a very happy retirement. That's what we keep saying, is we want a retirement where we can live as we're living now with no worry whatsoever, you know, with income situations. I don't want to live on a fixed income in our retirement years. I want to travel. I want to cruise. I want to go to Hawaii on Plexus and do all the fun stuff. And, you know, we bought a house here in, December, Christmas, and we're looking to pay that off within 9 years.
Very cool. Very, very cool. You live in the Dave Ramsey plan, aren't you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Jennifer, tell me, now, I know Sylvia's husband is in the business as well, and he was silent for a long time, but he had a little turnaround. We're going to talk to him in a little bit. Jennifer, is your husband in the Plexus business?
He is not in the Plexus business, but he is fully supportive of me now. I will tell you that James, and I often say this as I'm doing a training with my team or as I'm doing a presentation, James was extremely skeptical, and this was a little bit of a struggle for us. He was just very skeptical. Even as I was overcoming my skepticism, he was very skeptical, but he has certainly seen a difference in his health, and now that he is seeing, I'm sharing with him the text that I'm getting, the inbox messages that I'm getting, but he's with me when I'm getting those phone calls from someone who's crying because they've had such a dramatic turnaround to their health. And so he is a very firm believer now, and he did not understand the financial impact that this could have on our family. He just didn't. He was very skeptical. He's not skeptical anymore. When he just looked at my 1099 recently, I did say those little words, I told you so. He is a firm believer, and he is highly, highly supportive because he knows that these products are making a difference with people all over.
That's good. I love it. I told you so.
Yeah.
Very sweetly, I'm sure you said that to him.
Yeah, it was very sweetly.
Well, you know, you guys, I think the overall nutrition, the overall, you know, background in that, the finance, the whole thing, you guys are like the total package here. Not that anybody else today has not been, but I just love the simplicity of the way you guys break this down. So I'm hoping that everybody else is getting that from it as well, and not just me. It is truly, truly, truly an amazing, amazing thing to be involved in. Sylvia, tell me, share with us, is there anything else that I haven't covered that you would love to tell everybody?
Yes, and I'm going to share, you know, everyone has their strengths and everyone has a little bit of weakness. And, you know, I'm going to say this on behalf of not only myself, but I'm also going to say this on the behalf of some of my ambassadors as well as other ambassadors out there. It's very easy when we're watching and hearing and enjoying this ride with Plexus. And it's very easy to watch others maybe grow faster than yourself. And I will say the one thing that I have worked on myself is not to compare. And it's not easy because I always want to compare myself to others. Why am I not there? Why am I not, you know, moving along fast enough? And I really want everybody to understand that Plexus is a completely amazing company, from the comp plan to the products to the testimonials that we see to the friends that we make. Jennifer and I became friends well over a year ago. We've done videos together. We share successes and we share tears together. And we're not on each other's team. But if I picked up the phone and said, Jennifer, I need you, she would call me back in a heartbeat. And I know that I would do the same thing for her. It is one Plexus. And I cannot say that all the other companies out there, I know there's probably some great companies, but basically it's don't compare yourself to others. Enjoy this ride. Share in successes, share in tears, and just have fun. And you will have successes in this business as well.
I couldn't have put it any better myself. Everybody's success is at their own speed. It is in their timing that they are going to make it to where they need to make it, and some make it fast and some make it slower. I'm on the 4-year plan personally, and that's fine with me. So, thank you for saying that and letting everybody else hear it as well. What about you, Jennifer? Anything you want to share before we bring on our next guest?
Yeah, I have, I guess if I could give one piece of advice to everyone out there, it would be this: be your own health advocate. What I've seen over the years is that so many people wait until they're diagnosed with a disease, or they wait on their doctor to tell them to lose weight, or you need to work on those cholesterol levels. They wait on their doctor to bring it up, and they hold back and they don't start on that health journey. So it is important that you're your own health advocate, especially nowadays with our healthcare system the way it is. It's imperative that you take control of your own health and your family's health. Because nobody's going to do that for you. And so I really encourage people, and I've always done this long before Plexus, take control of your own health. Be your own best health advocate. What I've admired about Plexus is that it is serving as a catalyst to get people moving on their own health journey. And I've got a guy on my team. His name is Jeff Majors. And Lindland, as you know, he was supposed to be on this summit today, and he lost his dad this week. But what I love about Jeff's story, he has lost 115 pounds on Plexus. What I love about his story is that he did not sit back on the couch and drink this pink drink and say, well, I'll see if this stuff really works. He set his goals and he got after it. He went from getting winded, walking up the stairs, to training for a triathlon now. He took some great measures with his overall nutrition and focused on mostly a plant-based diet, mostly protein and fruits and vegetables. And with the help of Plexus and that comprehensive approach, he's lost 115 pounds. So that's what I love about his story, is he truly took that comprehensive approach. Plexus can help you serve as a catalyst and help you take that overall approach to wellness. But you've got to use that comprehensive approach. These products aren't meant to be just standalone products. You've got to truly take that comprehensive approach, and it can make a difference with your overall financial health as well, as all of us ambassadors have seen. It's truly the complete package.
Absolutely, and I think, thank you for bringing up Jeff's story. I was looking forward to hearing his whole story, but our thoughts and prayers are with he and the family this weekend and everything. But I agree with you. It is a total package. It is a tool in the tool chest of what you have to work with. It is like we heard earlier today from Brad this morning that he was unable to get up and physically do anything, but the Plexus was that tool that helped him to get everything started and going. So thank you, Jennifer, for being on. I want to give you the opportunity to say goodbye to everybody. I'm going to get Sylvia to introduce our next guest to us. So have a great one, Jennifer. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
We'll see you at convention for sure.
Yes, for sure. Hopefully before then.
Yes.